When Storage Wars first hit TV, it felt like something new and exciting. The idea was simple: people would bid on abandoned storage lockers, hoping to find hidden treasures inside. Viewers loved watching these everyday people gamble their money, open the doors to dusty lockers, and sometimes find rare antiques or valuable items worth thousands. The show became a massive success for A&E and quickly turned into one of the most popular reality TV series of its time. Audiences loved the thrill of watching people take risks, compete, and celebrate big wins. The cast members, like Dave Hester, Barry Weiss, and Daryl Sheets, became household names. Everyone dreamed of finding their own treasure someday. But while fans believed they were watching real people in real auctions, something entirely different was happening behind the scenes. What viewers thought was genuine competition was actually a carefully controlled performance. The question is, how much of Storage Wars was real, and how much of it was pure entertainment magic? That mystery began to unravel when one of the show's own stars decided to tell the truth. At its peak, Storage Wars pulled in over 5 million viewers per episode. It was A&E's golden egg, generating millions in advertising revenue. The network couldn't afford for the show to slow down. Each episode followed the same addictive formula: tension, drama, and a surprising discovery that made the audience say, "Wow." But in reality, real-life storage auctions are usually dull. Most storage units don't contain priceless antiques or vintage treasures. Instead, they're full of old clothes, used furniture, and boxes of personal stuff with little or no value. For the producers, this was a problem. They needed every episode to have a big moment, a dramatic bid or a shocking find, something worth watching. So they began to take control. Slowly, the show turned from a reality competition into a scripted drama. What started as a fun documentary about real auctions became a show where the most exciting moments were planned in advance. Every locker, every argument, and every surprise started to feel too perfect to be real. And that's because, in many cases, it wasn't. In 2012, the secret world behind Storage Wars began to crumble. Dave Hester, one of the show's most popular and outspoken cast members, filed a shocking lawsuit against A&E and the show's producers. He claimed that Storage Wars wasn't real at all. According to his lawsuit, many of the show's storage units were staged. Producers allegedly planted valuable items inside certain lockers to make them look exciting on camera. They wanted to make sure viewers always saw big wins and dramatic discoveries. Hester also said that interviews, reactions, and even entire bidding scenes were scripted and res-hot if they didn't look interesting enough. He accused the show of being fake from start to finish, from who got to bid to what was found inside the units. A&E strongly denied his claims, insisting the show reflected real storage auctions. But the damage was done. Fans were shocked. How could a show that felt so real turn out to be so carefully managed? Whether every detail of Hester's story was true or not, his lawsuit forced everyone to take a closer look at what really happens behind the cameras of reality TV. Hester's lawsuit revealed one of the most surprising tricks in the Storage Wars playbook, something known as salting. Salting meant that producers would secretly add valuable or interesting items into a storage locker before filming. They did this to make the scenes more exciting. Imagine a dusty storage unit filled with boring junk, and then suddenly, tucked in the corner, there's a rare painting or a vintage guitar. That's the kind of moment that made the audience gasp. But according to Hester, many of those moments were completely fake. Sometimes, producers even bought entire storage units themselves and filled them with objects they knew would film well. The goal was to make the show feel unpredictable, even though everything was carefully controlled. Beyond that, producers allegedly told cast members how to react, what to say, and how to act during the auctions. Their personalities, like Hester's loud confidence or Barry Weiss's cool, laid-back style, were encouraged and sometimes exaggerated to make better television. The line between reality and performance became so blurred that even some fans started to question if what they were watching was too good to be true. The secrets didn't stop at the auctions themselves. Another major technique used in Storage Wars was something called frankenbiting. This is an editing trick that combines parts of different sentences or reactions to create new dialogue. Editors would take a few words from one interview and mix them with another to make it sound more dramatic or emotional. This allowed producers to build fake arguments or storylines that never really happened. Music, camera angles, and reaction shots were also used to change how viewers felt about a scene. A simple disagreement could look like a heated argument, and a plain storage unit could be made to seem like a gold mine. Even the appraisals, when experts explained how much an item was worth, were sometimes misleading. Some rare items shown on the show turned out to be common reproductions, but the editing made them seem priceless. The goal wasn't to tell the truth, it was to tell a good story. And for years, millions of viewers believed every moment of it. After Hester's lawsuit, fans started paying attention to what other cast members said. Some denied knowing anything about planted items, while others gave hints that not everything was as real as it looked. Brandon Sheets, the son of Daryl Sheets, once said in an interview that producers often told them what to say and how to act during filming. He claimed that the show's team sometimes bought the units themselves and simply walked the cast through them afterward. Barry Weiss, who was already wealthy before joining the show, seemed less concerned with the money and more with entertainment. His colorful personality made him a fan favorite, and many people suspected that producers gave him special treatment to make his scenes more interesting. Another cast member, Renee Nazoda, offered a more balanced view. He admitted that the show needed to be entertaining, but he didn't say it was fake, only that not every locker is a winner. These different opinions painted a confusing picture. Maybe some parts of Storage Wars were real, but others were clearly exaggerated or staged for drama. Either way, the truth was no longer simple. When news of the lawsuit hit the media, Storage Wars fans were stunned. The idea that their favorite reality show might have been fake felt like a betrayal. For years, audiences believed they were watching real people risk real money. But now it seemed like they were just watching another scripted TV series pretending to be real. A&E and the producers denied the allegations, but the network couldn't ignore the damage. Public trust in the show was shaken. Some loyal viewers defended it, saying that even if parts were staged, it was still entertaining. Others felt disappointed and stopped watching altogether. Over time, viewership began to decline. The excitement that once surrounded the show faded, replaced by skepticism. The network eventually added a small disclaimer at the beginning of episodes, stating that certain elements were arranged for entertainment. It was a quiet admission that the show wasn't entirely real. That one line confirmed what many already suspected: the treasure hunts, rivalries, and unbelievable finds were more story than reality. In 2014, the lawsuit between Dave Hester and A&E was settled privately, with no details shared publicly. Not long after, Hester surprisingly returned to Storage Wars for another season. This confused many fans, who wondered why he'd come back after exposing the show. Some believed it was simply business, both sides had something to gain. But even with his return, the show was never quite the same. Its reputation had taken a hit, and it could no longer pretend to be completely authentic. The ratings dropped, and the once unstoppable franchise slowly lost its shine. However, the controversy did lead to an important change across reality TV. Viewers became more aware and more critical. People started asking questions about other shows too. Are those house-flipping shows real? Do those cooking competitions have scripted moments? The Storage Wars scandal opened people's eyes to how easily television could blur the line between truth and fiction. It became a lesson for both audiences and creators about the price of chasing entertainment at any cost. What happened with Storage Wars is not unique. Many reality shows follow a similar pattern. Producers start with real situations, but then slowly begin shaping the story to make it more dramatic. They push certain characters to act bigger, edit scenes to look more exciting, and sometimes even fake entire moments. The reason is simple: television is a business. Real life can be boring, but drama sells. Audiences love tension, emotion, and surprise, and reality TV delivers that, even if it means bending the truth. In interviews, producers from other reality shows have admitted that storytelling is more important than accuracy. They take real events and build them into stories with clear heroes, villains, and twists. Storage Wars was just one of the most public examples of how far this can go. The lawsuit might have exposed it, but the practice continues in many other shows. What makes it tricky is that not everything is fake, there's always a bit of truth mixed with performance, which keeps viewers guessing. Even with all the controversy, Storage Wars remains one of the most recognizable reality TV shows ever made. It inspired many spin-offs and created a wave of interest in storage auctions across the country. For a time, people believed they could become rich just by buying abandoned lockers. The show made treasure hunting look easy and fun. But after the truth came out, it also became a warning. It showed how easily audiences can be fooled by clever editing and storytelling. The legacy of Storage Wars is complicated. It brought attention to a real hobby but also created unrealistic expectations. Today, when people watch reruns, they do so with different eyes. They know that some of the drama might be fake, but it's still entertaining to watch. And maybe that's the real lesson here. Sometimes, we don't watch reality TV because it's true, we watch it because it tells a good story. Still, it's important to remember that behind every real moment, there might be a director saying, "Cut. Let's try that again." The Storage Wars controversy taught viewers an important lesson about media and storytelling. It reminded people that reality television doesn't always mean truthful television. Even though we love watching unscripted moments, most shows are built with the same storytelling tools as movies: editing, direction, and performance. For fans, this might feel disappointing at first, but it also helps us understand the craft behind what we see on screen. Television isn't just about showing life as it happens, it's about shaping life into stories that keep us entertained. In a way, Storage Wars was never lying, it was just giving us a story we wanted to believe. The excitement, the rivalry, and the hope of finding something valuable, that's what kept viewers coming back. Whether real or fake, the show succeeded in capturing the imagination of millions. And even after all these years, people still remember the thrill of seeing a dusty storage door swing open to reveal a mystery inside. So, were the Storage Wars scenes really staged? According to the evidence in the lawsuit, yes, at least some of them were. But maybe the bigger question is why we cared so much in the first place. Reality TV often blurs the line between truth and entertainment, and Storage Wars simply took it a step further. It turned real people into characters, real auctions into scripted events, and ordinary junk into hidden treasure. For a while, it fooled millions, and perhaps, we wanted to be fooled. The show gave us excitement, surprise, and the fantasy that luck could change everything. In the end, the truth about Storage Wars might be disappointing, but it's also fascinating. It reveals how powerful storytelling can be, even when it's not entirely real. As viewers, we can still enjoy the drama, but now we do it with open eyes. The real treasure, after all, might not be inside a storage locker, it's in understanding how television creates the stories we love to believe. To really understand what happened with Storage Wars, we need to look at how reality TV itself changed over the years. When reality television first became popular, it promised something simple: to show real people in real situations. Shows like Survivor or Big Brother attracted viewers by claiming to be unscripted. But producers quickly learned something: real life can be boring. Viewers wanted excitement, drama, arguments, and emotional highs and lows. So producers began to shape stories more and more, editing them like movies to create perfect moments. Instead of letting things unfold naturally, they began planning story arcs. Every episode needed a hero, a villain, a conflict, and a resolution. That same approach was used in Storage Wars. The characters were real people, but their stories were structured like a scripted show. This blending of fact and fiction became the new formula for reality TV, and it worked until viewers began realizing they were being tricked. It's easy to point fingers at the producers, but the truth is, everyone involved in Storage Wars faced pressure to perform. Once the show became a massive hit, expectations skyrocketed. The network wanted high ratings, advertisers wanted drama, and the audience wanted surprises in every episode. The cast, too, felt that pressure. If they didn't find something valuable or interesting, they risked being cut out of the episode, or even replaced. Over time, some cast members began exaggerating their